People who are fit are usually good at sport. Sport is a good way of getting exercise, and exercise makes you fit. But what is fitness? And is fitness the same thing as health? Fitness means different things to different people. For some, it's about getting healthy and making your body beautiful. For others, it's about competition, teamwork and self-propulsion. But some people have to look at fitness in a different way. Servus used to be good at football, but he fell out of a tree and broke his back when he was 13. He can't play football with his friends anymore. In fact, he can't walk without support. But there's one place he can go to get fit, and where he can be as fit as most other people. Can you guess where? Just because your legs don't work doesn't mean you can't use your arms. For people who are disabled, fitness is about finding out what you can do and doing it as well as you can. For this martial arts expert, the most important thing is to be incredibly tough. Helen is an 800-metre runner. For her, it's an uphill struggle for stamina and endurance if she wants to get to the top. Agility and flexibility are more important for a gymnast like Menna Samuel. What about sumo wrestlers? Are they fit? Do you want to look like this? And what sort of training do you think they do to get into shape? Some people are so desperate to get fit that they push their bodies too hard. What harm do you think this might do? What happens to your body when you take violent exercise? When you've been running in a race, you sweat and pant and feel exhausted. Can you think why? What changes have happened in your body, and how could you measure them?
10 seconds. 15 seconds.
People like Helen, who want to be champions, have to know exactly what their bodies can do and what difference training makes. That's when a scientific eye can help. What can you measure for a body that's taking exercise? And how can you record the results? What changes would you expect to happen as the exercise goes on? First of all, heart rate. You need a good flow of blood to keep your muscles working. Your heart is what pumps blood round your body. When you begin working, your heart beats faster so that it pumps the blood more quickly. What do you think will happen after several minutes of exercise? What about temperature in the mouth and on the skin? The temperature of her skin is 30.4 degrees Celsius. The temperature in her mouth is about 37.6. What would you expect to happen to these temperatures after a few more minutes? What makes them change? As well as blood, muscles need oxygen. How does it get there? What would you expect to happen to her breathing rate? How many times do you breathe in 1 minute? And do you breathe at a different rate when you're taking exercise? What other things would you like to measure? If you want to compare different people, then you have to be careful not to jump to conclusions. Do girls run faster than boys? You might think so if you judged from this race alone. But suppose you tried another race. And this time the boy won. What do you think now? Do girls run faster than boys? You can't decide on these two races alone. What you need is more information. If you have more people running, then you can get a better idea of how girls and boys compare. It doesn't really matter who wins this race. What you want to do is look at all the speeds together and try and find out how girls in general compare with boys. In fact, what you want to do is separate the girls from the boys and work out average speeds for each. The more people you can study, the more reliable your average will be. As the marathon results come in, you can see them building up into patterns both for the women and for the men. On average, men run slightly faster than women, but the difference seems to be getting less. Do you think there might be mixed Olympic events one day? When he was 10 years old, Tony Emmett was a wimp. But by the time he was 19, he looked like this. What made him Mr. Universe? Muscles. What makes muscles? Lots of effort. If you make enough effort, you can develop extraordinary muscles, even in your feet. If you have no hands, you have to use your feet instead. We have almost the same sorts of muscles in our feet as we do in our hands, but most of us never bother to develop them. What sort of muscles do you think are important for fitness and sport? Mick is a javelin thrower. It's a 7-kilogram medicine ball. What's the point of this exercise? And which muscles are being developed here? What do you think muscles need before they can work? Where does the energy come from? First of all, you need food. Inside you, the food is digested, and some of it is turned into stuff called glucose. The glucose is carried around with oxygen in your bloodstream. So when muscles work, they use up glucose and oxygen and make carbon dioxide and water. And if you use them long enough, you'll need more food to keep going. What sort of food is best? Do you think it matters what you eat, or when, or how much? What sort of food do you usually choose?
Chips, jacket potato, fish cake, bread bun. I don't know what that is.
2 lots of chips, a curry sauce, mash, and a pudding.
What do muscles need? And what would be best if you want to be fit? Do you think that some kinds of food are healthier than others? Some people say you should eat lots of vegetables and especially salads. What's so special about salads? What have they got that other foods haven't? And what do you think makes a balanced diet? For some people, fitness is nothing to do with sport. Physiotherapy isn't about training Olympic athletes. It's mainly about getting people back to normal fitness after illness or injury.
What I'd like to do now is just some exercises.
In this case, it's her right leg. What Debbie wants is to get the muscles in that leg fit again.
This weight's to give you some resistance. I'd like you to pull your foot.
First, gentle exercise to begin to develop the muscles.
Push straight.
She injured her knee in a motorcycle accident. The muscles have wasted, and now they need building up again. What's the weight over her ankle for?
Once more, lift. Push that knee straight. And down.
As time goes by, her knee gets gradually better, and she's given exercises that are steadily harder. This process usually takes several weeks. We all have to be reasonably fit for everyday life. Physiotherapists don't try to train people for sport. What they do is get ordinary people fit enough to lead normal lives. Physiotherapists are scientists who really understand about muscles and fitness and how to get people back on their feet. Racehorses sometimes injure their legs too. When that happens, it's important to keep the horse fit without putting any more strain on the leg. How do you think swimming might help? One advantage of swimming is that the water takes your weight. Why do you think pregnant women might like this hydrotherapy? Do you think people who are fit are also healthy? Most people feel better when they're fit. Do you think you ought to have exercises before every lesson? So what does fitness mean to you? Is sport the only way of keeping fit? Is sport about winning? Is it worth doing if you never win? And why do you think you have to do PE and games at school?